Again, I have to put credit to the boys. They make that captaincy role a lot easier. The boys just gel together. They get on, and there's things that are happening and doing this year that were never happening last year. There's such a good bond and such camaraderie between the club. It's top to bottom. It's something that makes my role as a captain a lot easier because there's no cliques and there's no people in different groups and stuff. So yeah, it's been good, to be fair.
Well, Joe, a big thank you for joining us. And before we get to the Cornwall match this weekend, just a general catch-up really. What's the mood in the squad like after that Keighley display? Because it was a defeat, but encouraging signs, I'm going to suggest.
Yeah, definitely encouraging. I think it's been a tough start to the season. Really, you look at the 6 teams that we played, and they haven't been easy at all. We had a blip against Oldham. Let's say that, and we kind of a lot of positives in individual players, and attitude came out of that. You can go one way or another, realistically, with that. The numbers were good in training, attitude was good in training. And I think we've built on that from that game because we realised we're better than what we turned out there. And I think we're bringing it into the Keighley game now. I think it was a much better effort. I think we're still learning. We're still learning as a team. There's still boys coming in, and we're trying to work out combinations and gelling together and timings and stuff like that. So I think it's all positively building, especially after the first 6 games.
And with regards to that process of gathering some momentum with the squad and that kind of thing. We spoke to Ash a couple of months or so ago, and it was going to take time, wasn't it? So, how has that process been of integrating the new players and building as we go?
It's been good, to be fair. I think the good thing about anyone who's come into the squad this year and who has newly come into the squad has brought a good attitude with them. And I think compared to previous years, I can only speak from my experience last year, but the attitude of players and wanting to be there, wanting to put that extra effort in has made a massive difference to what we're able, what each person on the pitch is able to contribute to. We're all buying into the system that Ash is trying to put in place, as well as the other coaches. We're really looking forward to training. We're really looking forward to putting it into process and putting it into the games, and hopefully reaping rewards from it.
And for you personally as well, obviously, I think you took over the captaincy partway through last season, so this is your first full season of being a captain at the start. How are you finding that responsibility?
Yeah, obviously Rangi started the season last year, and obviously circumstances, meant that he left the club, and he started things well. Fair dues to him. He's a leader. He's experienced, and he's been there and he's done that. So I think everyone can look around and learn things from him. Being an elder statesman now at 31, I think it's just my experience, that's what's mainly been looked for, being able to try and, pull boys together and, trying to, what I can steer the boys around the pitch, as much involvement as a prop can have, in rugby league. But taking it into the full season now, again, I have to put credit to the boys. They make that captaincy role a lot easier. The boys just gel together, they get on, and there's things that are happening and doing this year that were never happening last year. There's such a good bond and such camaraderie between the club. It's top to bottom. It's something that makes my role as a captain a lot easier because there's no cliques and there's no people in different groups and stuff. So yeah, it's been good, to be fair.
And that level of experience you've got, obviously you played at a couple of clubs elsewhere in League One. So, how important is that experience that you've got of the competition? Because I know it's a cliche, but it's true. This competition does get harder year on year, doesn't it? And the competition itself. So that level of experience you've got at various other clubs in League One must be very, very important, I'm going to suggest, to Ash and the rest of the club.
Yeah, of course, because we've got I think we've got a very young squad. I think some people might look at it, the names on the team sheet and not recognise many names. Which can sometimes work in our favour because they don't really know much about us. The boys that are there now are just willing to put 100% on the line. They're willing to put 100% into training, into games, and everything that is asked of them. So yeah, it is going well at the moment.
No, great stuff. And just to touch upon, the impacts having a professional club as South Wales does in the West Wales Raiders. You're a South Wales lad. What do you feel the impact it has on growing the game down there in South and West Wales?
I think it's always going to be tough to try and compete against stable sport of South Wales such as rugby union, and then football to follow after that. And unfortunately, I think some boys really do fall through the cracks. There are some really good players who do go and play rugby union, and they really could chance their arm at playing, especially League One and potentially above. The impact is from my time when I was playing community rugby, absolutely loved it. It gave us an outlet to do rugby union, rugby league, and just do something that we loved all year round. And I hope that is still the impression that the kids these days do get. There's some fantastic people at Wales Rugby League doing what they can to promote the game, bring the next batch of coaches through, and the next batch of players. I think being in South Wales, you want the young talents to be able to have something to look forward to. Coming to West Wales, we want that to be a pinnacle for some people. We want that, children to aspire to be there, and hopefully retaining them and building from that. And I think, we want to be able to create a foundation in South Wales where, people do want to stay. I think the other obstacle that we've got in South Wales is that any talent is kind of cherry picked away. You get offers from up north, and you think, well, you can't hold someone back when a big club comes asking. Say one of the Super League clubs comes asking, even if it's for an academy setup, like a few of the boys have done. There's a few boys at Salford, at Hull, Wigan. You can't turn them down, and unfortunately, I think the success of building some of the players there is also a downfall because we end up losing them. But you never want to hold anyone back. So we're just trying to get a good foundation going, and I think building that around the community game and stuff like that, and feeding that up into West Wales and League One standard. I think that's paramount for the future of rugby league in Wales anyway. And
we should say as well, I mean, it's leading towards a lot. When you look at the Welsh squad, there's a lot of actual, Welsh-born players there, isn't there? And that development is growing all the time, including, players like yourself playing for Wales. I mean, how much do you reckon what's going on there in South Wales is adding to that preparation ahead of the World Cup at the end of the year?
Well, it's obviously adding quantity of players and hopefully the quality of players to give the coaches that selection headache. Realistically, on a personal note for myself. I do want to play in the World Cup. You look at it and you think it is the pinnacle of the sport. You want to be able to play against the best of the best, and you want to play with the best of the best as well. There's a scattering of Super League players and stuff like that across the Welsh team that even you've known them for years, but still you want to be able to put the jersey on with them and you want to play with them. Because at the end of the day, everyone pulls together and you make yourself a better player. And hopefully that does work both ways because we've got experience from Super League, Championship, and down into League One, and players from over in Australia as well. So, I think international is the pinnacle for everyone, and it is a long-term aspiration realistically for a player. I think should be for everyone, because at the end of the day, it is performance based. So if you're able to put your hand up by your performances, then you deserve your spot on the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. And with regards to this weekend's match against Cornwall, you'd look on a map and go, "Oh, they're just next to each other. That'd be fine." But I'm imagining it's quite a journey. This. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on this game this weekend?
Yeah, I think from South Wales to Cornwall for us, it'll probably be about a 4-hour journey, give or take. We'll try and prepare as best as possible, as we do for every single game. We'll try and go down the day before to, again, give ourselves the best preparation that we can. For us, it's a big game. It's a big game. It's an opportunity for us to win our first game this season. It's an opportunity to win for the first couple of seasons since, a few years back against Coventry, I believe it was. But also, in turn, Cornwall will be looking at us as an opportunity for a win as well. We're both at the bottom of the table, and we're both scrapping for that first elusive win. So I think there is going to be a lot on the line. I think they're going to be buoyed from being at home, potentially having a decent-sized crowd. And sometimes that can work in their favour. We're taking every game week by week, and we're really having a big onus on ourselves what we're able to do and bring into each game. Because I think when we've taken our eye off the ball and we've looked at others too much, it doesn't benefit us in the long run. So it should be a good game this weekend.